Hello, and welcome to a new lesson of the Git Basics course of Rails Karate. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter as at Rails Karate. We're also on Facebook, and of course, follow me as at Bastimbalandia and subscribe to our channel. Now, log into your Cloud9 workspace and let's start. In the previous lesson, we learned everything about cloning a project and setting up remotes. But at some point, we will need to collaborate with others. So we're going to imagine that we are working with another guy outside, and we're going to go back to what we did last lesson. So I'm here, and I'm going to the home directory. And if we do ls, so here we have our clone of Git Basics workspace, of Git Basics repository, and we have here this workspace folder that is the original repository. It's the origin, remember. Now, what I want to do right now is try to synchronize the work we do with the work that other person do on this repository. So for the sake of the exercise, we're going to imagine there is another person working on this repository. Okay, so I'm gonna get into my clone, cd git basics clone, and I'm going to create a new branch, git checkout branch, and about a new feature. Okay, and I'm gonna edit file 3. Well, let's edit file 1, nano file 1, and I'm gonna say new feature commit change. I'm gonna save, exit, yes. Okay, so we saved the file. Now let's commit, git commit -am change of file 1 for new feature. Okay, so I have these changes only on the Git Basics clone, so I want to push my changes to the origin, so the other guy can see my change and work on it or whatever. So let's try. A Git has a command for this purpose. It's called git push. So with git push, we are able to push our changes to a remote repository. So I'm gonna say git push. So let's see what happens. All right, and Git is telling me that I just pushed to somewhere as a new branch. Usually, when we say git push, we can specify the remote, in this case origin, and the branch we want to push. In this case, it will push only the new feature branch to origin repository, to origin remote. By default, Git knows that when we say git push, it will take by default origin as the default remote repository we want to push. Okay, so you can say git push, and it will push all your local branches and everything to the remote repository origin, or you can specify origin and the name of the branch you want to push. Actually, it's creating the new branch on the remote repository automatically. So I'm going to cd home, okay, and I'm gonna say cd workspace, and let's see if our new branch is there, and it is new feature. So when we push to our clone, the new feature branch was created. If we say git log, we will see the last commit we made on the clone before we push. So here is all the repository history as we expected. Let's say the other guy um, didn't like some change we made, so he wants to edit the file one, and he didn't like all the exclamation points we made. Yes. So we save the file and git status. All right. So we want to commit git commit -am. Now I'm going to go back to our clone. See the Git Basics clone. And here, let's say we want to add something else to our file one. So I'm gonna say file one, and we want to add something here. Yes. And I'm gonna commit-am. All right, now I wanna push again my changes to the remote origin. So let's say git push origin new feature, and it shows an error saying that our push was rejected, and it's basically because we made a change, or the other guy, remember that we are imagining that there is another people working there, uh, the other guy just made a change um, to the origin repository. So when we try to push, Git is telling us that he doesn't know what to do. It is asking us to bring all the new changes before we push our changes to the remote repository. So Git has a command for bring changes or pull from a repository, and it's called git pull. So by default, when we say git pull, it will take the origin as a remote default, but we can specify it, and also we can specify it exactly the branch you want to pull. If we say pull, it would pull all the branches that we are tracking on the remote repository. So we can say git pull origin new feature only for pull changes of new feature branch. It actually brought the changes. We pulled the changes, and it says that it's a conflict. Remember, we already know how to solve conflicts on Git. You can manage this conflict the same as you know. So let's solve the conflict. We already know how to do that. Now on the file one. All right. So let's. All right. Control X and say yes. Enter. Okay. We need to add git add file one, and Git will add automatically the message of the commit for us because it's a conflict we just solved, and we are pulling. Okay, merge branch new feature, Control X. Now let's go back to our origin repository, and here let's check out to master branch. And let's make a change to file 2. A B C D E. Control X, yes, enter. And we just made a change, git commit -am, and some other change on file 2. All right, we want now to maybe push this change, because we say git remote sorry, in singular. We have a register remote called our clone. Now let's test what I already said before. We're talking about the default repository when we want to push or pull our changes. So if I say git push, Git is gonna say that there is not a remote. We by default there, because there is no origin. Before it worked because we were on the clone repository. So when we say git push without specifying the remote, it will use the default that is origin. But in this case, we don't have an origin because we are on the origin. Okay, so that's why it doesn't work. So this way, the only way we can push changes, saying git push our clone, because that's the name of the remote here, and master the branch. Alright, and it pushed our changes to our clone. So you now know how to clone a project, how to set remotes, how to push changes to a repository, how to pull changes from a repository, and this is the basics of working with remote repositories. So the next lesson we'll learn something about GitHub, that is the most known host of remote repositories out there, and some more about workflows on teams working with Git. So don't forget to follow me, okay? Bastian Belandia and Race Karate. See you the next lesson. Bye bye and subscribe.